gun, limousine riding, jet flying, son of a gun, and I'm having a hard time holding these alligators.
You're talking to the Rolex wearing, diamond ring wearing, kiss stealing, willing dealing, limo jet flying. We Ric Flairing on them niggas. We Ric Flairing on them niggas. You talking to the Rolex wearing, diamond ring wearing, kiss stealing, willing dealing, limo jet flying. We Ric Flairing on them niggas. We Ric Flairing on them niggas. It's apparent these girls staring. I'm Ric Flairing, gold across my chest. I'm fresh to death. I'm Paul Bearing, not at all scary. One eye open like Betty Wops and find to these Urkels that's going in like a carry shot. Woo! I'm going in like a Mary Pop off that Mary Crop at the top flow at the Marriott. So questioning me is like questioning you. See, we the best dressed, so come and get blessed with the crew. Not one but two, different ways to slaughter your crew. Committed tat across the chest, I guess she blessed with the truth. People want to see them checks, representation of proof. Living through my elders, trying to resonate to the youth. But ain't nothing to get my flash on. Longevity is heavily embedded in my melanin. Layman terms, I last long. My grind repetitive, I'm smoother than real silk. Lyrical cash cow who can't cry for spilled milk. We in here. You're talking to the Rolex wearing, diamond ring wearing, kiss stealing, willing dealing, limo jet flying. We Ric Flairing on them niggas. We Ric Flairing on them niggas. You talking to the Rolex wearing, diamond ring wearing, kiss stealing, willing dealing, limo jet flying. We Ric Flairing on them niggas. We Ric Flairing on them niggas. This ain't no normal situation, this preparation with greatness. Industry full of fakeness, it's really up for the taking. See, life is what happened to you, more so how you take it. Don't get stripped of your knowledge and mentally leave you naked. I like to live otherwise. I'm sorry that I'm fresh to death. I put the polo and apologize. See, black son, we ain't nothing like the mother guys. Quit to socialize, we organize, then we mobilize. Off the deep end like a scuba diver. And no confusion, just keep it pushing like Uber drivers. Woo! Business fresh just like a supervisor in a Gucci visor. Can't find a smoother rhymer. You're talking to the Rolex wearing, diamond ring wearing, kiss stealing, willing dealing, limo jet flying. We Ric Flairing on them niggas. We Ric Flairing on them niggas. You talking to the Rolex wearing, diamond ring wearing, kiss stealing, willing dealing, limo jet flying. We Ric Flairing on them niggas. We Ric Flairing on them niggas.
Yeah, DQ baby. Shout out that boy Nigga for that fire track. Hey, Black Sun, sun up. What's up, Vinny Vegas? What in Vegas? Yeah. Shout out Pharaoh's Kids. D-Phase. Yeah. Bubba C. Yeah. Ric Flairing on them. Ric Flairing on them. Ric Flairing on them. Ric Flair, sun up, baby.
Hey, yo, Scotty, you going crazy for this one. We see what you're doing, we salute you. Hey, let's get it started. It's Backpack Capital One. What's in your wallet? Got a call from my man, A. Scott. I said I got it. Love that you highlighting all of these black colleges. Try to pay me for doing this. Look, bruh, if you don't get off my line with that foolishness, voice of the swag, pull up where you at, no cap. If the Brody is speaking the soft facts, my advice, tune in to every show. Captain Petty, but we know that the sergeant is with the smoke. Speculate, just tell me what is we doing. Get into it, okay, look, I'ma say this and keep it moving. My boy Scotty, man, he off of the leash. Black grad, paying college, I'm glad that he called me. Walking, cause we all been taught that talk is cheap. Even primetime knows Scott for the HBCU streets.
What is going on, everybody? It's your boy Scotty, and you're watching OFFScript. I hope everyone had a wonderful, absolutely wonderful Valentine's Day. I hope you all had a great, wonderful, special, eventful Valentine's Day. All right. So listen. First of all, like the stream. Okay. All right. Like the stream. You know, the police is always real close by. You know what I'm saying? Just waiting to do a commercial break on y'all. So just go ahead, like the stream, stop playing with it. If you at work, put me in your ear. All right, you know, do what you got to do. You know what I'm saying? But watch my shoes. All right, I know you guys at work doing your thing. I hope I'm getting you through your day. All right, shout out to this Tuesday morning. All right, also today, we didn't do the Afterglow show yesterday. I apologize. We all kind of forgot it was Valentine's Day, so we all pushed it. We all moved it to Tuesday. All right, so the Afterglow show will be happening today at Tuesday, 7:30 same time. DJ Loose Kid will be in the building, fam. You DJ, holla at your boy. All right, so we all dropped the bag on that one. And also, listen, for the haters, you already know what you can do. You can...
If I make you feel some type of way.
You already know what you can do. I just unless you listen, I don't care. I don't care. All right. You can unfollow me at any point over this stream. All right. You can just happily walk your butt along. All right. Now let's get into today's show. Hugh Jackson, his turn. Listen, we already know he was the head coach. His contract details came out today. Don't know who broke it. Don't really care. All right. 4 years. $1.6 million. All right, that's what Hugh Jackson has. Now, I'm telling you right now, if you're a Grambling fan, you're not going to like this stream because I'm really taking this in a whole different direction, and it really bothered me when I heard it. All right, that's all I'm saying. So I'm just going to give you the heads up. If you part of the Gram fam, you might not want to watch the whole video because at the end of the day, you're not going to like what I'm going to say. Now, you might agree with me. You might not like it. But at the end of the day, it's medicine. I'm giving it to you. Take it and sit your happy ass down. All right. So here we go. All right. So, you know how I do presentations. All right. Got to get my PowerPoint presentations on because, we visual people and we not on YouTube. All right, we're not on YouTube. Just, I'm not on YouTube just to talk to y'all all the time. I like to show y'all some stuff. You know what I'm saying? So let's get this presentation on the presentation. Okay. So you already know what it is. You already know the title. $1.6 million contract, sway how, whatever. Woo, woo, woo. All right. This is how it breaks down. All right. $400K is the base salary. All right. Now, I ain't gonna lie to you. When I first saw it and I thought it said he was making $1.6 million a year. I was about, damn. That's how I was like, what are we doing? I was like, babe, am I reading this wrong? And she said, you are. It's 4 years and a total of 1.6. I thought y'all Bamas was paying this man $1.6 million a year. Damn. That's where I was at. That's where I was at with it. I was like, oh my God. Okay, so I was just like, man, this is crazy. But I was like, oh, I got a little deeper, and I read it, and like $400K. I was like, oh, okay, never mind. It's not that damn. You know what I'm saying? But I would definitely thought that's what they said. I definitely would when I first saw it. That's what I read. I was like, oh man, these Bama's out here doing it. All right. So this is how it breaks down: $400K base salary. If he becomes the Black College champion, he gets an extra $15K. If he wins the Celebration Bowl, he gets another $25K. If he wins the Bayou Classic, he gets $7.5K. If he wins Cody, Coach of the Year, $10K. If he has an FBS win, oh, what is that, Scotty? Why would? Oh, but we're talking about Grambling. I forgot it's a Grambling show. They not scared to play people. My fault. That's my bad. Of course, they would have that in his contract. They're not scared to play people. Oh my God, I keep forgetting. All right, FBS win $10K, and if they move to the FBS, he gets a one-time payment of $50K. All right, I'm gonna blow this up just in case you guys can't see it. So if he moves it to, if y'all move up to FBS, he gets a one-time payment of $50K. Now, I got this off the HBCUsports.com. Y'all can go check them out. This is where I got the whole details of the contract from their article on HBCUsports.com. All right, so that's what it is. So shout out to Hugh. Shout out to this. But this is my problem. All right, because I know everybody's like, oh, Scotty, what do you mean? This is what I feel this was. This is what I feel this was. All right. I feel this is what Broderick Five's got.
I got fake people showing fake love to me straight up to my face.
He got a lot of that. Got a lot of fake love. Because help me understand. Listen, I'm not the sharpest tool in the shed, nor have I ever been the brightest crayon. So make this make sense to me. You can find money to pay $400,000, right, in a contract, but you can't give the kids a hot breakfast. But you can't give your athletes and your players, your students at this historic institution a hot breakfast. But you can find money to pay a football coach $400,000. You can find the money to give all these damn incentives, but you can't give your kids the necessary nutrition to play on your freaking football team. Your priorities, Grambling, are effed up. All the way effed up. All the way effed up. Because what that tells me is that you had an agenda during the Fobbs era. That's what that tells me. That's what that tells me. Your agenda was all wrong. That these kids are eating a continental breakfast on one of the biggest games of the year, but you can find ways to pay a coach $400K. That's like a parent having Louis Vuitton shoes and your kids are wearing Shaq. Make that make sense to me. It's all good and dandy. Oh, we got a new coach. Oh my God, he's Hugh Jackson. Oh my God, Hugh. Oh my God, we love you, Hugh. Oh my God, we love the color of Hugh. Okay, that's great. But where was the respect that you had for your players? What was the respect that you had for your former coach who had won everything you could have asked him to win? He's the only coach in the SWAC. I'll say that again. The only coach in the SWAC to win a Celebration Bowl. But you couldn't give him the respect and service of just giving him money to get his kids hot breakfast? What? What does the G stand for? Make that make sense to me. What does the G stand for if it doesn't stand for great for breakfast? If it doesn't stand for Tony Tiger, great for cereal. Make that make sense to me. So I'm confused. I'm confused. So that's what's so funny to me. You can stand now and you can negotiate, you can do all this and that. But you couldn't give Fobbs the basic necessities to do his job, to get his kids in a nutrition way. They listen, it's just real funny to me. It's just real funny to me. That's all I'm gonna say. It's just real funny to me how the money is just rolling in now. But it wasn't rolling in a year ago. But everybody, I don't get it, man. You gotta make that make sense to me. You got to make that make sense to me. I guess I'm just different. I guess I'm just, because it doesn't add up. 2 + 2 makes 4. How in the hell is Grambling telling me it's 5? And how is it 5 all of a sudden? Because now you have the money. Before you couldn't pay for the kids to do stuff. Now you got the money. I don't get it. I don't get it. It just reminds me of a parent. It just stems from a parent having everything for themselves and give nothing down to their kids. There, you see the parent always dripped out, draped up, all this, Gucci this, Louis Vuitton this. They looking like $1 million, but their kid looking like who done it and why. The kid looking like who done it and why. But for some reason, we're all supposed to sit back and say, you know what? And nobody's mad that you got Hugh. Nobody's mad that you got Hugh Jackson. Nobody's mad, okay? Congratulations, you got Hugh Jackson. But that's just not how I operate. I think back and I say, Where is this money coming from? Because all I see is
I got fake people showing fake love to me straight up to my face.
that's all I see. That's all I see. I ain't even gonna lie. I ain't even gonna hold you. If I was a player at Grambling, I would be hot. I would be glad that I got Hugh, but I would be hot under the understanding of these numbers don't make sense. Let me go back to you. You are willing to give tens of thousands of dollars if this man wins football games, but you won't feed kids. You won't feed kids a hot breakfast. I don't get it. Tank top screaming lotto, I don't fit you. I don't understand. Make me, like I said, help me. If anybody, sister, so whatever, sister, whatever, help me. Because it just does not make sense to me. Especially when the coach is the only coach in the SWAC to win a Celebration Bowl. I don't get it. I don't get it. All right, call lines open. Let me get these call lines open.
You are the only participant in the conference.
516-259-9041. 516-259-9041. Yeah. Okay, you already know what it is if you've been listening to the show. My problem is always going, and you know, there's probably a whole bunch of Grambling graduates listening to this, and I know you guys had your share of up and downs with me, okay? You know, me being happy that you got Hugh, me glad that you made the move to go get Hugh, but I'm always going to hold you accountable because all I keep hearing is the G, the G, the G, the G. The G right now, for me, like Kofi said, stands for great because your Bama's is feeding breakfast. Your Bama's was giving out cold cereals and bagels to high-level athletes. And you want them to go out and represent your institution, but your institution cannot do its due diligence to help its players out. Make that make sense. And then you guys have the nerve. This is what be killing me with this stuff. You have the nerve. This is how black parents do. You don't do right by your kids, but they should go out in public and represent you the right way. You won't do your kids right. You won't have them in the right stuff, doing the right things, having everything right. But then you have the nerve to turn around and say, don't disrespect me in public. Don't disrespect me in front of company. What? No, I'm going to shine a light on your ass. Oh, we going to talk about it today. That's what you guys have the nerve to do. Oh, they should represent the G a lot better. They should do this for the G. They should do that for the G. What has the G done for them? What has the G done for them? And then you're going to come back to me with some, but they give, we got a scholarship. That's great. That's individualism. That's a professor taking the time out to show love for these kids. That's different alumni individually. I'm not talking about individually. I'm talking about the administration that funds the football program. Individually, yes, there's professors that absolutely love these kids that would do anything for these kids because they know being a black man or woman in America, we have to be twice as good to get half as much. So I'm going to give you everything I have to see you go to a better position. That's cool. That's great. But how, as an administration, that you're doing your kids this wrong? Cody means coach of the year. All right. You're doing your kids a disservice in the way you're treating them. That now they're supposed to go out and represent you. They're supposed to go out, turn around and represent you the right way and say, what? What? But then you have the apologist. You have the apologist calling to say, well, Scotty, you know, it's more about that. It shouldn't be this. It shouldn't be that. No, there's a standard that should be set for basic necessities for these kids. Because y'all want to call them kids one minute, then you want to call them men the other minute. I don't get it. Hey, caller, you loud. Talk to me.
What's up, Scott? How you doing, man?
I'm doing good. What's your name? Where you calling from?
All right, man. That's Marcus Johnson, man. Calling from Louisiana.
Talk to me.
Look, I've been hearing a lot of the talk about the Syria incident and all this other stuff. This is what I know for a fact. That is not really true. That petition was sent over by 2 players that were Project 5's people. And it was a little sabotage going on. Because what I do know for a fact, that those boys weren't eating cereal. Any away games that they have, alumni step in, they feed them. Even home games, they feed them. So it was a little sabotage going on. And as far as the contract goes with Hugh, Project 5 also had the same incentives. When you check the record out, it's he also had the same incentives. So it was a little sabotage going on there. And I'm just trying to put that to rest because I know that wasn't true. They investigated and they found out it was no misappropriation of funds or anything with these guys. So that news wasn't true.
Okay, so let me tell you this. Let me say this. There's some things that I know that I cannot speak on because of the fact that it's not public knowledge, right? So because of the fact of that, I can't say it because somebody can come back and say that's not true. But I've heard it on good authority from more than one person that is close to the program that I'm gonna say this: that there were some people in office that did not like Fobbs and that wanted Fobbs gone and were doing things that were trying to get him fired. I'll say that. That's the most I can probably go into it. That was what I've been told. That's what I've heard, that there were things going on, that there were certain things that alumni people were doing to help out the program because people weren't doing their part. That's all I'm gonna say, right? So that's something that has to be cleared up because what I've heard from the statement that was put out in front of that was given to the that was sent up to IHL was Fobbs guys, players that liked Fobbs. But from what I've also been told was that a lot of players on the team love Fobbs. You know what I'm saying? So it's a catch-22. You can't tell me it's Fobbs guys. Then on the second token of that is that half the team love Fobbs. They absolutely loved him. I have players that reached out to me that's part of the Fobbs era that also say like, yo, Scotty, we loved Fobbs. Like he did a lot for us with a little. You know what I'm saying? So like I said, I don't know. There's your side, there's their side, and then there's the truth somewhere in the middle of that. But if there's smoke, there's fire in my book. That's how I see it.
Right, and I agree with you. It is a catch-22. Of course, you're going to have some people that like it, and you're going to have some people that dislike it. And for me, I was one that liked Fobbs because, him and I went to Grambling together at some point. And he was naturally a good guy. But at the end of the day, it was under Fobbs' watch. If this stuff was going on, why didn't he step up and say anything? So actually, you were trying to defend Fobbs, but you actually shared a spotlight on him as well, because this is under his watch. Because if that is his player, he should step up and say, hey, we can't operate like this. It shouldn't have taken 2 players to share the spotlight on this type of behavior. Now, if this was happening, like I said, and I don't believe that this was happening. If this was happening, I believe that Fobbs should have stepped up and said, hey, look, this is the issue. We can't operate like this. I got guys out here I got guys coming in day in and day out, grinding for this university. You can't treat them any kind of way.
This is my thing. And it kind of goes back to the situation with McNair at Alcorn, right? There's a love for the institution that supersedes the right thing to do sometimes, right? McNair held the fact that they weren't having any trainers because of his love for his institution, that he didn't want to put them in a bad light. And there's things that were going on because there's certain things that's going on that, Fobbs, He graduated from Grambling. He's a Grambling man. So you do not want to put your institution in a bad light. And as Black people, what do? We keep it in house. So I'm not saying that it's true or false. I'm just going to give you the narrative of that. It's possible the fact that it was going on that five, because we've seen administrations hold out funding, i.e. Alcorn. Okay, we've seen that. So it's no different than what I think it's no different than Fobbs was going through it. He just didn't want to put a bad spotlight on his institution that he loves. You know what I'm saying? And he dealt with it accordingly, because as much as a coach, I want to put it out in the spotlight and I want to fight it. If the administration is not going to give you funding, they're not going to give you funding. You know, like it just, if that's what it is, that's just what it is. But go ahead.
Yeah, I mean, like I said, I agree with you. You know, I agree with you. I think we kind of both agree on some aspects of this thing. But moving forward, if you know better, you have to do better.
That's fact.
And you know, and I hope you don't just take the money and not look out for the players. And I don't think he's that type of guy that he would do such a thing. But when you look back on the contract that Hugh has got, Fobbs had almost the identical contract because he had incentives as well.
No, the incentive package is the standard part about it. To me, my issue was you can find money to pay for this, but you couldn't find money to get these kids a hot breakfast. That's just what I want to make sense.
Oh yeah, I mean, I totally agree. Yeah. I mean, I agree. I mean, I would feel the same way. But you know, to my knowledge, all of that is not 100% true. Because I've been on the end of actually seeding players, you know, going out to different areas.
No problem. I appreciate the call, man.
Thank you, Scotty. Have a good day, man.
You too, man. Have a good day. Hey, caller, you loud? Talk to me.
Hey, what's up, Scotty? This is Rock, man.
Talk to me, Rock.
What's going on?
Chilling.
Hey, man, this is one of those situations where, man, this is where in our community, when I'm talking to Black community, I'm not talking about Black college, is where a lot of times we try to protect the privacy of our family while allowing people inside our family to be abused and neglected. You know what I mean?
Yep.
That shit has happened for centuries in our families. Where the uncle grabbing booty, but grandmama don't want to call the police or whatever because she don't want her family to be shamed and her son sent to prison when she know he deserves. You know what I mean? Mm-hmm. At the end of the day. And this is what this is a case of. We have to, within our institutions, whether it be church, whether it be Black colleges, whatever, we must get rid of the cancers that exist within our organizations, period. And that's within our churches, within our fraternities, within our all of our organizations, because we put up with that bullshit for the sake of keeping things private, while that thing that's going on actually deteriorates the quality of what we actually have. Agreed.
It's too, and as you said, Rocky, it's just, I think it's just a Black staple of how we get down. You know what I'm saying? What happens in this house stays in this house. I mean, anybody Black on this channel right now, all 250 people, you've all heard the statement, what happens in this house stays in this house. We all know, but go ahead, Rock.
No, and so when you talk about Fobbs, like I happen to have met Fobbs when he was a very young man. I met his father and his mother, which are absolutely wonderful people. His dad was a great position coach as well. This is what I would say, is that it was obvious to me that Fobbs didn't have any grace within the institution, because when Fobbs was fired, he was literally probably the most successful coach in the SWAC. If you look at the totality of records.
Facts.
Like literally, old boy got a promotion. What's the dude from Prairie View? He got a promotion,
Dooley.
A better job
Dooley.
For doing just a fraction of what Fobbs has done as a coach. And it just goes back to how we do business amongst Black people. We value the fact that we like you over your performance. We value the fact that you have a relation or a connection to us more though than we do your qualifications. And if you don't fall in our good graces, we'll do what we can to sabotage your success at the expense of kids, the institution, and black people. This again, by all rights, Favre still should have a chance to get out of the doldrums that was created by the pandemic. He deserved at least that. But he wasn't given a shot because he didn't have favor within the institution. That's why he was let go. Because still today, with no job, Favre in the past, probably, I'm going to say 5 to 10 years, he's one of the most successful coaches in SWAC history. And you can put his record up against any coach that coaches now in the SWAC for sure, and he'll blow it away.
Easily.
Probably other than McNair.
Easily. I mean, you can't even.
And why does he not have a job and Dooley has a job? Why does he not have a job? And you understand what I'm saying? Like I'm not knocking Dooley. I'm not knocking any other coaches in the SWAC. Why does he? Tell me this. In all actuality, Alabama State should have hired him as soon as he hit the street. Easily. Instead of hiring, they should have hired a professional, a man who has won championships in the SWAC to lead their organization. But instead, they choose to hire a real estate agent who happens to be a friend and a former teammate of somebody in influence within their organization. So you have a qualified black man that's going to be sitting on the sideline while we have a real estate agent coaching a SWAC school, and you expect the SWAC to be seen as an elite football conference. Really? This is what we're doing? So you got to understand, I know that there's two sides to every story and everything, but at the very crux of this issue is that we have to start treating each other fairly if we want other people outside our community to treat us fairly. This has been your boy Rock, and I'm out, Scotty, man. Thanks for everything you do, bro.
Hey, man, appreciate the call, Rock. You out here spitting, boy. Hey, man, shout out to Rock for that one. Listen, I'm going to give you two forms of it, right? Am I a fan of recycling? No. All right. Am I a fan of recycling? Absolutely not. I'm not a personal fan. But would I have been upset? But see, this is now we're going to a deeper issue. This is the issue where it comes to how hiring is done. Let me ask you guys this, and let's keep it a whole buck out here. You know what I'm saying? I got time today. Who else interviewed for the Southern job other than what I told you about Kevin Sumlin? Who do you know else interviewed for the Southern job? Don't worry, I'll wait. Once again, Alabama State, Rocket Mortgage Hornets. Other than when I told you, who else did you hear interviewed for that job? Don't worry, I'll wait. So my thing is this. These institutions need more transparency. They need more You're just allowed to do whatever the hell you want. For why? And nobody calls anybody out on that shit. Nobody calls anybody else out on it. They just be like, you got a new coach. I'm like, do you know who else you hired? No, but I trust the administration. Yo, you guys do more pandering for your institution than it. Listen, you are the black guy on Get Out. When you try to dap him up and he's like this, that's how y'all Bamas look for your institution. That's how you Bamas look for y'all be crying eyes. No. Yes. Like that's what you Bamas look like when you get a new hire. And I be trying to ask y'all real questions like, do you think he was the right person for the job? Yes. I'm like, whoa, what are we doing? That's what all you guys look like. Because none of you hold whatever in it. You don't hold any anybody accountable. You just take whatever they give you. It's so sad to see. And I'm like, yo, you're telling me a guy, and this is what I was hearing. Oh my God, Dooley can recruit Louisiana. Oh my God. Oh my God. Who else can recruit Louisiana? Hugh Jackson. He killing Louisiana. And then before Hugh got there, I had a guy that went to Grambling talking about, oh, if it ain't a Grambling man, I don't want him. And now you super excited that you got Hugh, and you know who I'm talking to because you've been in spaces with me on Twitter. So make that make sense. You guys are just, you guys give me a headache. Hey, caller, you live, talk to me.
What's up, Scotty? This is John Holmes, man. Big John. I'm in the comment section all the time. And shout out to you and Steve, man.
Appreciate you, man. Talk to me.
Everything you say, man, is on point, bro. But this is the bigger even when we was talking about Jackson State, man, I think one show we even talked about all the schools, man. So basically, it boils down to infrastructure, man. Infrastructure. So and I'm gonna just use HBCUs or just the SWAC as an example. With those 12 member schools, man, we don't have an infrastructure that is connected to each university to where those of us who are alums can then make the decisions and really our decisions and our dollars make everything happen in the way we feel that we feel is best for the institution to move forward in many different directions. And so say, for instance, like a school like LSU or Ole Miss, those alums basically place a coach in place that they feel like is going to continue the heritage and winning culture that they've been known for. So until we work collectively as a people on infrastructure, these schools, which are just government jobs, they're going to continue to run how they run because you take federal dollars and you run them. So just say, for instance, if I'm a president or I'm an AD and I like Scotty and I like Steve, well, as soon as I get on, y'all getting a job whether you're qualified or not.
Facts.
So for me to have some form of transparency, I would have to have donors who are holding me to the fire and saying, okay, everything that you do, every move that you make, every decision, every hire, it has to have some form of transparency. And I have to make sure, you have to make sure that you're hiring the best candidate that you feel is qualified for the job and can move the job forward in progress, man. But without infrastructure, again, when I say infrastructure, we don't have like cities and communities that are connected to a university besides a couple of mom pop joints with certain restaurants, clothing items, and things like that, but nothing big that's running a whole town like the universities are not supplying or the support of a lifeline of a whole town the way some of the public white institutions are. So that's nobody's fault but ours, man. As a collective, if you're buying into that, that's nobody's fault but ours, and nobody's going to come in and save the day. It's going to be if people who give to these universities, who go to these games and who love this stuff, we're going to have to, we generate so many billions of dollars per year. We just going to have to ask ourselves, what are we willing to spend money on and who are we willing to spend money with at this particular point in time, bro?
Absolutely. Hey, man, great points, man. Great points. I appreciate the call.
For sure.
All right. So, listen, I love it, right? Okay, so listen. Let me get this caller first, and I'm going to go on my tent. Hey, caller, you live, talk to me. Hey, caller, 4018, you live, talk to me.
Oh, what's going on, Scotty?
What's good? Yeah, what's your name? Where you calling from?
It's Darian, stay in Houston.
Talk to me.
I got a two-part question. I'm just calling in and I'm seeing the contract incentives and stuff like that. My first part of the question is the one thing I've noticed when I kind of want to touch on is the move to FBS. Do you think that Ashley Robinson gave Dion maybe a similar incentive? And if so, let's just say Grambling and Jackson State both succeed. Do you see what conference would you see both of them moving to the FBS if they did?
If I'm being a whole buck with you, I would bet my money on Grambling moving before Jackson State. And the reason I say this is because if Hugh is building a team that is competing against FBS competition on a day in and day out, like a year in and year out, he's going to start building it accordingly to get his team prepared. I'm not saying that Laxton State is not prepared to take on an FBS team, but I don't see them. I don't see them doing. Listen, you can't say you're ready and never play. You get what I'm saying? So you gotta what babe? What's that? You gotta test the spirit by the spirit. You gotta try the spirit by the spirit. I don't know you're ready until you play. You know what I'm saying? Like, no, like Appalachian State wasn't ready to move up until they played FBS competition and was beating them consistently. So if you're never playing them, I can't tell you that you can move up. Why would I? If I was Conference USA, which everybody's putting in this comments, right? If you've never played anybody in my conference, if you've never beat anybody in my conference, why would I add you to my conference? Make that make sense to me.
I get that. Only reason I kind of say that is because I kind of see what he's doing with the facilities and kind of like upgraded that little by little. And I mean, scheduling wise, they haven't really, stepped up their competition that way. But maybe I'm thinking of like, okay, if we kind of put this stuff together, attract, people to, let us know we're serious instead of our competition gradually, then maybe, it's a gradual step up. I'm not sure. I don't know if that's the mindset, but that's just kind of what I'm thinking because, I'm seeing the locker rooms and, they're talking about, some other facilities getting added, stuff to the practice facility and stuff like that. So that was just kind of my thinking of.
All right, what's your next question?
Well, the first part of the question was, do you think that Dion had a similar incentive that Hugh did as far as the move to FBS?
I would assume so, but I mean, this ain't about Laxton State, so appreciate the call though.
All right, no doubt.
All right, no problem. All right, so anyway, so one thing is this, right? So going back on my rant, this is my thing, right? With the transparency factor is you can have the opportunity to hire somebody like a Hugh Jackson, Coach Dooley, or whatever. But even with Hugh Jackson, right? Even with Hugh Jackson, great hire because you need the publicity. You want the sponsorships. You want the endorsements that come with him, right? But who else did you interview? Who else did you interview? Like that is my issue. That is my only issue. Give me all the candidates. Give me all the candidates. I want full transparency. Don't spoon feed me something. Give me everything. Tell me who else did we interview? Did we interview Ray Lewis? Did we interview Ed Reed? Did we interview whomever? Just give me let me pick. Let me know. Let me know. Because it's too many times and I'm gonna keep stressing this, man. The same thing with the Southern job, same thing with the Rocket Mortgage Hornets job. It's the same thing with the PV job. All these Bamas, they beg and plead for your money and then treat all of you like kids. Unless you're an insider to the program. Unless you are an insider to the program, all right, all you're going to do is keep continuously getting spoon-fed whatever you want. Make that make sense. I want transparency. Who else interviewed other than Bubba McDowell? Like, tell me. All right. I know I'm getting off on a tangent. I love my tangents, but that bothers me, man. Because these are the same institutions that be like, y'all don't give, y'all don't give, y'all don't give more, give more, give more. What are you giving, Bama? You don't tell us how you move, when you move, how you're moving it, when you're moving it, but you want all these people to give to you. And then you got other people, give to your institution. But what are they giving back to you? Where's the information? Where is the public statement saying, hey, alumni, hey, sidewalk members, hey, sidewalk fans, these are the coaches we're looking at getting. We're trying to interview here. We're trying to do this. Where's that? But they want all your dollars. Man, man, make that make sense, man. Oh, that pisses me off. Hey, caller, you live, talk to me.
All right. Got this Jared. I'm calling back one more time.
You good?
So now, Now you talking about accountability. That's a whole nother ball game right there, bro. So we covered infrastructure. You got infrastructure on lock. Now you're talking about accountability, and I'm gonna raise this question to you and the group as well. So this is another thing that's needed. Scotty, how? So they say people that can help themselves can help others, or those who help themselves. You get the quote I'm saying.
Yeah, I get you. I get you.
So this is the thing. So yeah, stay with me. This is the thing. So what has to happen with HBCU, Scotty? This is the thing. We gotta have people in place that are not needing of a check. And when I say that, understand what I'm saying. I'm talking about at the higher levels. We have to have people that are not in dire need of a check, meaning that the work that they're doing is just basically out of love and wanting to see an infrastructure and a system take place and wants to grow something and then begin to work and pass it on and pass it down. If you look at the infrastructure of public white institutions, not that I'm even trying to compare white and black. I'm just trying to show you true infrastructure and true wealth. Everything that people of color seem to be doing is in and out of lack. So we have a lot of people that are presidents. We have a lot of people that are deans. That their lifeline is the university. So they begin to hoard the monies and they make monies move and flow through the system that is only beneficial for them, or they channel it outside of the university in cahoots with people. And I'm telling you this because I've seen this first on a first-hand experience. They channel money outside of the institutions that only benefit them and their constituents. So we have to have people in place. There has to become a day and a time that people in place that are in leadership that are not in lack, that are not depending on trying to make $18,000 and $17,000 a month that can push these universities forward. I guarantee you now, if you took a president or a chancellor from any of these other institutions or a dean from any other of these institutions, they have several streams of income and they're able to be effective in the jobs that they lead because transparency is everything for them because it's not moving out of lack.
Okay,
and then they don't get paid. Oh, Scotty did this and Scotty said this, so I don't want Scotty to be the coach. I don't want Scotty to be the dean anymore because Scotty hurt my feelings and I'm going to get him out of there regardless of the history of work and the pedigree that Scotty's done. So when people of color can get out of a lack mentality and a lack attitude, and we can put people in place who have money and come from money and are now willing to set up true accountability, man. It'll be a different day and age, man.
Listen, okay, you're getting that's a very, very slippery slope. That's a very slippery slope because when you're at certain institutions don't have the capabilities of imparting the right people. Why? Because the state does it. So now I don't even get to choose my president who then hires on other members and boards because I didn't even pick my president. So that's one. Two, at these PWIs, these guys are getting paid twice what the guys at their position at Grambling is getting paid. So that's why they're wealthy. You know, like I do it.
But do you understand?
Go ahead.
Okay, so Scotty, you understand why they're getting twice as paid because again, on the last call, that infrastructure, that town, that college is placed in a position where it is the lifeline and it is part of a networking system that generates wealth for others. There is nobody's fault that people of color are not connected to a lifeline. Most of these schools, man, besides a few schools like maybe Alabama State and Jackson State that are closer to an inner city, most of these schools are out in, man, it's buku land around. It's nobody's fault but people of color. We ain't putting no dairy cows out there. We're not trying to cultivate the land and the grounds. We haven't built communities. That's nobody's fault but ours. But yet still we sit back and we think, you know, somebody's going to write a check to come generate some funds to come put us ahead. No, it's all on us, man. I live in Mississippi, bro. You know how much land we got? I'm working in Claiborne County next to Alcorn. You know how many millions of dollars is just sitting there that's not being developed and utilized, but they want to be petty and go after a coach for no reason other than they just don't like them? Like these are real institutions. And another thing, I don't think that voting at a large level really does anything, but I'll say voting at a smaller level does. in the state of Mississippi? Where is Benny Thompson? Where's Black people? Where's the mayor? Where are the collectors saying, look, we don't want IESL making decisions for our universities? Put a board in place and we hire our own president. How can an IESL board have your best interest at heart and mind when they're placing a university president there to sabotage growth and progress?
That's fair. Hey, hold on. Somebody wants to get on a conference call with you. All right.
Okay.
Hey, Rock, go ahead. No, hey, you already know. You already know the rules. No name calling, but everything else is free game. Go ahead.
No. So my issue with what my man is saying is that what will end up happening in the scenario that he's presenting is that only a certain class of people will be able to serve at positions that are influential and transformational, right? And that's what happens in the white community. And I don't think we as Black people should model that at all, right? No, I'm not speaking of model.
Hold on. Hey, you got. Hold on, real quick. You guys got to listen out for each other. All right. So say a point, and then if you're gonna cut in, just say, "Hey, let me say something real quick," so the person knows when to stop. All right. But go ahead. Go back to you.
I can stop it right there, Scotty, and not allow him to respond.
Okay, yeah. So I wasn't using that as an example. I wasn't saying that we need to model that, because if we really just delve into history and we look at the reality of it, that system that they're using is a system that we over time had and developed. That's the only reason they got it, because they stole everything. So it's just us. It's not us reinventing the wheel. It's just us operating at a higher frequency and a higher plane and a higher thought plane to set things up and set structure and order. Over time, it can evolve, but we have to start somewhere. But no, I'm not using them as an example, because they using us as an example. Everything they got from us, and they learned from us. So I understand history to the point of where they even came into this thing. So I'm just trying to get us to a higher frequency, and we have to start somewhere. It cannot be born in lack.
For the sake of not having a circular conversation, right? When you put requirements on a person's wealth in order to hold a position, how does that benefit the institution?
Okay, I'm not putting to answer that. I wouldn't be in favor of just putting somebody in wealth. I'm saying that we have to make sure that at some point in time, there are those of us who have gifts. Like, I'm an educator. So, and I understand, and this is something I do. I'm an educator, and I understand that in my field of working, I am not going to become a millionaire in education. So that means that any grant, any funding, anything that the federal government is giving me, instead of me sabotaging it, which is going on in institutions, because I'll speak off the phone of which institutions I work in service, but that means that any money that come through, instead of me sabotaging it because I don't like you or don't like Scotty or I don't like the children, I'm going to use those funds accordingly to build. So you're seeing what you're seeing at the university level, as far as especially with Black institutions. There is sabotaging of federal dollars that come through to push us forward. We got to deal with that issue. We got to deal with it.
Hold on, Rock. Before you go,
who is not making great use of funds.
Hey, listen, hold on. Listen. You're not answering the question, though. You're saying a lot, but you're not answering the question, because when you first jumped on the call, you said we need to put people in position who are not lacking. And he asked you a specific question. So Rocky, I'm going to ask you to ask the question again. I just need you to answer the question directly. All right. Don't hit me with no circular stuff. Oh, I'm an educator, federal. No. He asked you a specific question. I need you to answer. Go ahead, Rocky. Ask that one more time for him, please.
How does hiring somebody that has a specific network or wealth status benefit the institution to hire that person if they're not qualified to serve in that capacity?
Just quite frankly, man, they have a broader vision. They're not low level thinkers. Okay. They like. I'm trying to give you an answer.
No, you are. No, that's what I'm saying. I'm glad. I said okay. I'm hearing a vision now.
Yeah, they have. So if I as a teacher, if I aspire to just be a coach, I can just only deal with things at the sport or the level that I've coached. But if I am an athletic director, I have a different perspective and viewpoint than just a football coach, because I'm looking at every sport that falls under my jurisdiction. So hiring, to answer your question, the energy or the intelligence and the level, it's just different. It's a much higher, it's a broader perspective than somebody that's just coming in, just looking at what they're doing. They're not seeing how what they do connects all the way around. They're just seeing what they do. Like take for instance, take for instance this show, this platform. This platform is not just about sports, but to the uninitiated or to the normal person that doesn't have that level of awareness, they think that this is just talking about sports. They'll just think this platform is talking about JSU, and they would totally miss it. They would totally miss it. Why? Because the level of intelligence and the level of awareness is much more higher than to just talk about one thing.
So let me just say this. So I'm a businessman, and I'm not learned or significantly educated or anything like that. But this is what always makes, when I have these conversations with people that are highly educated, that are really in tune to the swag. This is what always bothers me about those conversations, right? Is that y'all allow these elite institutions to be proving grounds for people who haven't served in those capacities before to actually cut their teeth, practice, and get their experience. When I believe a Grambling, a PV, a Jackson State, all these institutions should be at the level where they're just simply hiring qualified people. They shouldn't be letting people practice in any capacity in their athletic programs or the head of their coach or the head of their sports teams. And they do it over and over and over again. And to the point to where you have an athletic, let me finish, brother. To the point where you have athletic directors who have never served in athletic departments, let alone been part of college, athletics. You have coaches who have never, I'm trying to finish, brother, who have never served as coaches who are now leading college programs for elite learning institutions. So how is that serving the swag to take a chance on a person because of a relationship or the perception that they don't need the money? How does that then benefit the institution? You can hire a lot of rich guys in a lot of capacities, and they don't need the money, but they're going to use it as their own playground to do what they feel is right, whether they're successful or not. And I'm saying LSU ain't letting people practice at AD. Texas A&M ain't letting people practice at AD. And University of Texas is not allowing people to practice. So why should Grambling, PV, Jackson State, and Southern do the same? That's all I'm asking. Why the SWAC schools or black colleges allow people to take high-level jobs that require high level of execution to come in with no track record and perform those functions? That's what I always ask.
And I would say, I'm not going to answer that, but I think what you're not realizing is we are kind of saying the same thing. And I was giving some of the antidotes to that, meaning that a lot of people that come in are, number one, petty. They owe somebody a favor. They're hiring friends. And again, it's really based off lack. See, I really believe in the energy of things and the mindset of things. So abundance attracts abundance. Lack cannot attract abundance. So what you're seeing is a bunch of holes in places that are basically built in lack. I mean, if you look at the infrastructure of the
But I think you're missing Scotty's point, though. And I don't mean to interrupt you because you said what you said several times, and that's why I'm interrupting. I think you're missing Scotty's point. Scotty's point is right on in that you do things that are counter to what you say your ideals and your values are. And you end up hiring people and assigning people to positions that the relationship you have supersedes a person's qualifications. That happens all the time in the SWAC.
Right, and that. I think you get what I'm saying. I don't know if you heard me earlier when I called in. That's exactly what we're saying. And I was simply pointing out what some of the root. Okay, let me say this. I was simply pointing out what some of the root causes were that led to that. Like a root cause of me not liking you, even though you're a businessman. So I would say I don't want to use his business because I don't like the way his hair is cut. That's lack. That's a lackard mentality. That's just pure hating. I don't even know, especially if you're the leader in whatever particular field of business that you work in, your business would be to my advantage to utilize, because you bring something to the table that no other businesses bring. So if that's the mentality that I have, I'm missing out because of a lackard mentality, because of a hateful energy and mentality. So there's no way that I'm going to be able to get to a place of progress and abundance and moving ahead and moving forward if I continue to have that energy and mentality. And that's counterintuitive to what I'm actually saying that I'm doing. So I think all three of us are saying the same thing. I was just pointing out the root causes of where those things stem from.
I don't think that's a root cause. I don't think a person, depending on the salary that they're earning, is a root cause. What I think is the root cause is simply over and over again hire unqualified people. If you hire unqualified athletic director, you end up with that person hiring an unqualified coach, and then that unqualified coach ends up hiring unqualified assistants, and then you end up with a system that's completely dysfunctional. And I'm talking about from the head of the SWAC office down, man. I don't want to, I say, Scotty, man, I love this conversation, man. I don't want to drag it on anymore, but I just want to say, man, the situation can be remedied by just committing yourselves to hiring qualified individuals and quit allowing people to prioritize relationships over qualifications.
Hey, appreciate you're the final point on that, Rocky. Appreciate the call, man. Hey, that's a great conversation. That is a great conversation. Hey, appreciate you guys for having a very, very respectful conversation, difference of opinions and things like that. I'm gonna get to another caller. Hey, caller, you live, talk to me.
Hey, how you doing, Scotty?
What's good?
Calling from Louisiana.
Talk to me.
Hey, got a question. If Forbes, the question about the Syria, I think that's false. And my thing is, would that be on Forbes if he had that going on? Why did it all come out at the end and not during his tenure?
Oh, okay, so let me tell you. I'm gonna say it without saying it. It's true. Listen, listen to what I'm telling you. I need you to read the tea leaves. It's true. That breakfast stuff is true. All right. I'm gonna leave it like I have proof. It's true. All right. So the thing but I'm gonna answer your second part to that. Why did it come out? Listen, man, it's like this, right? Let's be real. If you had let's say you had a dog, right? You had a dog that at your previous apartment, it bit a kid, right? It bit a kid. You had to move. You had to get rid of it. You like, man, I got to move. I can't live here no more. You go to a new apartment, right? Do you tell the new apartment that your dog bit a kid? You won't, because you love your dog so much. You don't want to let it go. You don't want it to have a bad light on it to this new apartment, right? So for Forbes, in my opinion, Forbes loved Grambling so much that he's not trying to put his institution in a bad light by saying they doing this. He's going to try to work his avenues through the proper channels to make sure that he can get what he needs for his kids without it getting out. That's showing, in the military sense, it's called working the chain of command, right? You work your chain of command before you have to go to the highest level and say, you know what, I'm gonna put this on blast. You know what I'm saying? So I just think that was Forbes loving his institution that he graduated from, that he coaches at, that he's like, yo, I'm gonna do everything in-house to make sure I can get it fixed before I have to take it to the public, and then I look like the bad guy or make my institution look like a bad guy. You get what I'm saying?
I feel you on that,
yeah.
But at the same time, Scotty, so using your scenario that you just used, if I'm in that situation why, you know, if I want the best for my kids, where's my motive? I understand I want to protect the institution and everything, but if I'm not getting the resources, you know, sometimes you have to speak up to get stuff to work out, you know. And my thing is, if I know my kids is not getting the proper meals and everything, so I can do my job successfully, it should have been spoke up. You know, I understand what you're saying, but it should have came out in a kind of way to protect that. Look, guys, I need this, or administration, we need this because of this or because of that, and even from the facilities and everything else. So it kind of like look bad. You understand what I'm saying? Like after the fact.
No, I definitely understand what you're saying. Listen, to a certain extent, I do agree with you. I think there's some things you just have to hit the nuclear button on it. You know what I'm saying? Like everybody's seen the movie with the president with the briefcase and the red button. Sometimes you got to hit the red button. You know what I'm saying? Like on Men in Black, push the red button. You know what I'm saying? So, but you know, it all depends on that person's. It all depends on that person's motive, right? Like, how do they feel about it? Because at the end of the day, he has like, I want you to look at the SWAC as a very close-knit family, right? If listen, my family knows, hey, listen, don't tell too much to Scotty. My name is Abrion, so my cousins call me Abrion. So they're like, don't tell too much to Abrion, because if he gets mad or upset, he's going to put you on blast. That just is what I'm going to ruin your holiday. You know what I'm saying? So as a SWAC family, if Fobbs does that to Grambling, the school he graduated from and loved, why would I hire you at my institution knowing you might do that to me? You don't got no ties to me. You see what I'm saying? So now you have a stigma. Now you have this thing going around the other SWAC families. They're gonna be like, "Hey man, watch Fobbs now. He might put your stuff on blast. You don't want that." Blast. You see what I'm saying? So you have to think about it's no different than Brian Flores. He put the NFL on blast. Now all the owners are talking to each other like, "Hey man, like chill with hiring him." You know what I'm saying? So it's the same thing in the SWAC. I'm saying, I don't know this for sure, but I believe it will be the same thing for the SWAC. If he would have done that to Grambling, the school he graduated from, a school he won the championship, all these accolades he's got at Grambling, I'd be like, if you doing that at your home school, you ain't gonna have no respect for me. You know what I'm saying? So you gonna give me the same business. So you got to think about the bigger picture sometimes. And even with me and how I move, you know, I speak whatever comes in my mind, but sometimes I have to think about the bigger picture and I can't say some stuff. You know what I'm saying? So it is what it is.
Yeah. All right. Well, appreciate that, Scotty.
Hey, no problem, man.
All day.
All right, appreciate it. Man, listen. Oh, yeah. Listen, Key call. First of all, I like the stream. All right. Like the stream. Key, my baby Key, she calls me Mike from Why Did I Get Married? You know that scene where he's like, "No, Marcus, since we want to bring up secrets," she calls me that all the time. I'm that guy. I will set your shit ablaze. Play with me if you want to. I will set your stuff ablaze. And this is what I really want people to know. I know a lot more than y'all think I be knowing. So the stuff that y'all hear me say is the light stuff of what I actually know, because I could set this stuff off real quick and easily. So a lot of your programs that you think is all fluffy, I got some dirt, all right? But I keep it to myself because that's not my agenda. It's not my agenda to set this stuff ablaze, all right? I can, but I shall not, all right? So I just want to be very clear about that. Y'all want to see some SWAC TMZ, huh? I could get real ugly real quick. Hey, caller, you live, talk to me.
All right. What up, Scotty?
What's up, TG? Talk to me, baby.
Yeah. What up with it, my boy?
Chilling.
Say, Brad, first and foremost, I just want to say, man, I'm proud of myself for really being up on my homework, because every time you go live, I'm able to get in.
Hey, my man.
Man, I appreciate everything you're doing, man. I really like the topic, man. I think what you're saying is really credible. And a lot of this stuff, because of the SWAC is hot right now, you know, it's kind of coming to the light. You know what I'm saying? I don't want to get too deep into it because I know you got a lot of people that'll be calling in. But my main thing for calling in is like the stream. That's all. My man Scotty out here busting his butt, making sure we get this news. Every time I turn around, you're going live, you're going live, you're going live. I'm talking about, man, some of my classes, I'll be like, hey, y'all, shut up. Guy, you're going live. Just be quiet. So this man out here putting in work. He got family, he got kids, he got other stuff he trying to do, but he trying to make sure that he put out stuff for us to know what's going on in the world with the SWAC and other things, man. The least y'all could do.
The least
is like the stream.
Shout out to you, TG.
So like the stream, because my man, he could be losing hair follicles talking to y'all, and y'all ain't liking the stream.
Facts.
All right, man, I'm a holler.
Appreciate it, TG. Man, that's respect, man. Shout out to you, TG. Shout out to you, my boy. Hey, Carter, you live. Talk to me.
Hey, what's going on, man? This wind down. I was up in the chat.
Talk to me.
All right, now I'm a Columbia. I'm from South Carolina. You know what I mean? And I grew up around the whole, SC State Benedict culture. So that's as much as familiar that I got with HBCUs. My thing is, why isn't a lot of these HBCUs, prioritizing the community? Like, I work around a lot of jobs in the city, and a lot of the boosters come from that area. They may not have went to school, but they love the Gamecocks. They spend all their money for season tickets. They get all their families to go out to tailgating. So I'm trying to figure out, because I've been watching this channel for a while. Why doesn't a lot of these HBCU alums feel like, ingratiating themselves with the community is important?
Man, listen, it's the same thing. It's the same way black people who go to HBCUs feel about the University of Alabama. You have black folks who graduated from the institution that go harder for the University of Alabama and probably never took a class than they will do for their own institution. You know what I'm saying? I couldn't tell you why. I really could not tell you why. I don't understand it sometimes. Like, I don't get the obsession with it. Like, I get it for a pro team or whatever, but for a college team, I really don't understand it. Like, I got black people who love University of Alabama, and I'm like, bro, that school has nothing for you. Like, I'm like, you know what I'm saying? Like, and this is before I even got into HBCUs. I didn't understand black people rooting for University of Alabama. I'm like, make that make sense to me. You know what I'm saying? Like, I don't get it, man.
Because my thing is, I've been paying to the channel for a while, and I respect it because, we need all them avenues to do it. Like, me, myself, I got a son that plays football, and being that a lot of influx is going on with a lot of these players considering HBCUs, I think that it's a big thing. Like, it's a big thing. But then when you come to the corporate structure, I'm like, okay, a lot of people that may not have attended maybe a high school, they have attended a lot of jobs. They went from working at a cashier to maybe being a store manager or a general manager. You know what I'm saying? When it comes to just the corporation of any kind of business, you know what I'm saying? You must have structure. But when it comes to marketing, promoting, getting your word out there, getting your face out there. And of course, it's all about education first. You want to make sure that these kids is learning. A lot of me, myself, I went to trade school. But at the end of the day, you pay attention to what's going on. I feel like, what made, like I said, I'm from the area. Benedict State used to be a big thing around here. But, of course, it's times is different. You got social media. We the same age. I'm about 32, in my early 30s. So, seeing Southern and Grambling, I ain't gonna lie, seeing Southern and Grambling on NBC when I was a kid, that was my introduction into mainstream HBCU sports. And I feel like, when I be looking back at a lot of things that go on HBCU, it's like, okay, why you want to go with the majority where you can be the minority, but be the prime capitalist of that minority? You know what I'm saying? Why you want to go where everybody else going when you can set your own flag? And I feel like, one thing about HBCUs is like, hey, y'all surrounded by a lot of people that's in a lot of urbanated areas. In great shape with those people. They always ain't got to be no concert with no hip hop artists or things of that nature. You can just be giving back. Because why? When somebody goes to that school or that high school and they're a junior or senior, they're going to be like, man, I remember they had a festival for us, this, and that, and the third, whatever. I'm going to go to that school because they show love to my community. You know what I'm saying? And why? It's going to make all them fans that stay in the neighborhood go to the game.
I do, but I think you also, I love your points. I really do. And you make some awesome points, but I think you also have to you also have to put some blame on some HBCU grads. They're really and I think the comment Black Pilot in my comment said it. I'm gonna bring it up. He said HBCU folks can be very fraternal about their school and closed off to outsiders. That has never been more true than me. Right? Like, don't get me wrong. And I appreciate everybody who watches my channel who are HBCUs and not. But when I first jumped on the scene, I had so much pushback. And you know, the very first thing they would say to me, you didn't graduate from HBCU. You didn't graduate from HBCU. Now, I'll say this. If I was covering the SEC and I talk bad about if I talk bad about whatever school, they're gonna be mad or whatever, but they still gonna be glad that I'm talking about their schools.
That's right.
You see the difference?
Right. They're gonna run them numbers up just because you showing that love.
Absolutely. So I think it has to be a twofold part. It has to be the schools being more involved in the community, and then it also has to be HBCU alum being open enough to take in outsiders, right? So it can't be just outsiders that agree with you, because that's what a lot of Laxton State fans do. Oh, you know, we have Coach Prime, you should be on our bandwagon, but you know, I got friends that never knew anything about HBCU and they love saying Andrew Body and they rooting for him now. So they don't care too much about Laxton State. That shouldn't make shouldn't make Laxton State fans turn off on them. They should be happy that they're more SWAC fans. You get what I'm saying? So you need to be happy about the growth of the SWAC brand, not just if your school's brand is growing. You know what I'm saying? Because with the SWAC brand growing, then everybody can essentially come up, because now there's going to be more eyes. ESPN might give you more money, however it plays out. So I think they need to focus on more of the bigger brand than just individual schools. But go ahead.
Right. Yeah, man. I mean, I salute that. That's why I like, you know, get more information, because people got to understand, a lot of people that really do not know the nuance that's going on, they're tuning into your channel. They may be tuning into Swag Bloods or Blue Bloods, or they may be I know DJ Raw Truth. You know, the pregame show. I'm able to negotiate with all those different things. And like I say, you know, I mean, even though I'm in a MEAC, you know what I'm saying, circle, you know, circle when it comes to where I'm at. Yeah, it's a lot of people just enjoying the HBCU content. And that's why I feel like a lot of people should realize, especially when it comes to the alumni that's calling in to your program, they need to realize, like, y'all are giving us not only how y'all feel, but y'all giving us the information on what we're going to tell our kids when they ready to start filling out their application with what college they want to attend. Because I knew playing ball growing up, it was like, man, if I don't go to Clemson or South Carolina, hey, man, I'm going to be to NC State. Why? Because them the best things that I know that everybody respects in the state. You know what I'm saying? That's like if you're going to Mississippi, you know what I'm saying? If you ain't got Ole Miss or Mississippi State, you know what I'm saying, knocking at your door, you're going to want to go to Jackson State. You're going to want to go to Mississippi Valley State. If they know, everybody respects their brand and know what's going on. But if the people that may not know, you know, how else they're going to not know? How is they going to respect it if you don't respect the outside people that's interested into the sports? Like you said, you call it SEC program, and I know it's a plethora of SEC channels that I see on YouTube all the time, and they're getting their views, they're getting their subscription, they're getting their numbers. I feel like, hey, it don't matter who you is that's doing this stuff when it comes to HBCU, being that it's out there, it's drawing the attention to where we're gonna pay attention to it. I ain't gonna lie, I'll be kind of upset that ain't really no MEAC channel going on like that, but you're gonna see all them boys going to these SWAC schools until they pick up their game and realize what's going on with that. You know what I'm saying? Besides what Buddy Pugh doing at State.
Yeah, I'm gonna try to slide over to the MEAC slowly but surely. Appreciate the call, my guy. Hey, listen, let me say this before I get to these callers, right? This is what's wrong, right? This is the exact epitome of what's wrong with the mindset of HBCU people. You take the criticism of a sport, right, personal. Your football was trash. I'll say it again. Trash. Hot garbage. All right. La basura. All right. Trash. But then you don't even want it. You can't even take criticism. You can't take it and act like, oh, we've been so good. Oh my God, we've been so good. Nobody said anything about your institution. Now, if somebody talks about the Jackson State institution, I'm sorry, I apologize. The Laxton State institution, and people want to talk about that, and you want to fight back, I don't care. That's your prerogative, whatever. But if you're talking about sports, if somebody comes in with a criticism on the sport of play, and you can't take criticism with publicity, you don't ask for the publicity then. Just that simple. Don't ask for the publicity because you're weak sauce. Weak sauce. Including you, Israel Carey. Weak sauce. Emotional ass. Emotional ass. Hey, what's up, Coach? Great talk to me.
Weak sauce. What's up, man?
What's up? Turn your background down.
That's what I'm doing now.
All right. Talk to me.
Hey. All right. You know, something the last caller was talking about. Because I attend the HBCU and I also work at HBCU. Most of these HBCUs do be ingrained into the community, but the reason why, because this is the thing people missing out on. Like you was talking about, you don't understand why people support Alabama more than anything. Alabama been on TV. Alabama A&M, Alabama State haven't been on TV. But people like you, who everybody listens to, now bringing more eyes, people like you and HBCU Sports and all that other people that's got a platform, now y'all bringing eyes to it. And also with Dion going and Hugh Jackson going to the HBCU. All them eyes are coming on there, so now people are thinking about it. But Alabama and them been on TV for the longest, so it's just like a commercial. What's your favorite cereal?
I like Fruit Loops.
Fruit Loops. All right. So take Fruit Loops for instance. They constantly put that on TV as a kid. You constantly see it, and you be like, "Oh, I want that. That's what I want."
That's fair.
So that's why people gravitated towards that, because Alabama on TV. So I'm like, "Oh, I want to be a part of that." Man, look at it, winning national championship. I want to be a part of that. They constantly in your face. But the one thing that been in everybody's face is like the Bayou Classic. So everybody talks about the Bayou Classic, and then that's it. So it's all about what's being shown. But now we got people that are pushing the platforms like you, which I'm happy that you're around, bro. I'm very happy you're around.
Thank you, Coach. Great.
And I like hey, me and you may have our little fussing matches, but hey, that's what it's about, man.
Absolutely.
Agree or disagree.
Absolutely.
And that's the thing we got to get better at. Now, as far as one thing I got to disagree with you on, when you talk about Alabama, let me tell you something, bro. What color are you?
I'm black.
If you say something bad about Alabama, just like we got our few crazy fans, and I ain't part of Jackson State, so I ain't gonna put that out. Laxton State got their little crazy fans, and they get all built out of shape and attack you. The white folks will attack you too.
They'll attack me too, and probably call me the N-word on top of it. Why you
for real?
Probably call me the N-word
for real.
Yeah, I'm saying, so I get
it. Hey, I'll put this out for Quincy Hall since he will comment. Yes, we won last night. We 21-2.
Woo.
Just to put it out there.
Killing them.
But and put out a name. Russ College Lady Bearcats. Be on the lookout. And appreciate it, man. That's all I wanted to say.
No problem, Coach Green. Appreciate the points.
All right.
See, I gave him his credit, Paris. Gave him his credit. I'm gonna just leave this right here. I'm gonna just leave this right here. I mean, just in case anybody doesn't know where I stand on that. Just gonna. Matter of fact, I might just make a banner one day and just like literally. I'm gonna probably make a sign and put it right here, like "Band is not a sport." I appreciate that. Appreciate that. I like that. JB, talk to me.
What's going on, Scotty?
What's good?
As usual, I'm trying to bring some nuggets, man. Let me add some nuggets for this one right here. Okay, you talk about black folks with University of Alabama and everything else versus our schools. Here's what it is, Scotty. We view HBCU football as the ultimate safe space. Now, what do I mean by that? Now, I'm a BCU alum. I'm also a University of Miami Hurricanes fan. And needless to say, both of our schools have struggled over the last couple seasons and whatnot. But I look at our fans and our fan base. We're very, very passionate. At the same time, we take everything about our football personally. Now, what do I mean by that? If we go to an HBCU game, it's more about the cultural aspect. It's about the social aspect versus about the game itself. Now, you talk about sports and athletics, Scotty. Now, when people talk about someone's football team, so I say, hey, it's a game, you know, wins, losses, games happen. But for so many of our fans, and of course, actually I had a conversation with my mother about this. She's a 1967 graduate of Philander Smith College, small HBCU in Little Rock, Arkansas. And during her generation, they viewed every single athletic sport as an extension of the HBCU school itself. Now, when we get into rooting for some of the bigger schools, is that we look at some of those bigger schools as actual football teams and actual football products. Because, say, for example, me being a Hurricanes fan, right? I wanted our coach gone for years. You know, finally got a new coach, etc. But I say the same thing about BCU getting rid of its coach. Will say, well, wait a minute, you can't do that. Why not? Because I'm looking at it from an athletic perspective. We are very, very, very protective about anything related to our sports. Very protective about it. And we view any kind of, say, criticism of our sports as an attack on HBCU culture and institutions themselves. They are not the same. We try to intertwine the two worlds between college athletics and HBCU institutions and relevance as a whole. That is the issue we have with this here. The reason why we haven't been able to progress at a certain point is because we constantly look at everything through the eyes of HBCU culture, not in terms of getting athletics built up. Now, the SWAC is hot right now. You know, it's true. However, when people always want to ask about, okay, how are we doing on the field, people, I guess conversations get different. People get kind of tight-lipped about it. Say, guys, look, we're just talking about playing games. You know, people ask, okay, well, what can we do to get that respect? When you bring up playing other teams besides making SWAC schools, folks get defensive. I say, wait a minute, you asked to be the best in the country, which means you actually got to take on other people in the country and not just other people within our social circles. So until that we expand our opinion and our viewpoint of HBCU sports more than just a social outlet and social circle, you're going to continue to have these conflicts come up.
That's fair. That's fair. So,
I mean, if we're treating our sport, I'm sorry, go ahead.
No, my question. My question would be: so your factor is instead of looking at it through the HBCU rose-colored glasses, let's break apart what the institution actually is to what athletics could be. You know what I'm saying? On its own entity of outside of it having. So the reputation of the institution should have no bearing on the athletics, pretty much.
Correct. And I'll say it like this too. And this was prior to Celebration Ball coming to effect. Once again, my alma mater, we used to get kids that used to go to, say, schools like FIU or FAU, for example. And the recruiting pitch that we would use is that we would say, hey, come to Bethune-Cookman, because if you go to an FIU or an FAU school or whatnot, you'll never play for an NCAA chip. And I think A&T is using a similar recruiting strategy right now. Now, with Bethune-Cookman, we have prior to Celebration Ball coming to effect. You know, as I said in the call a few days ago, we beat FBS teams. We beat Southland Conference teams. We were a team that actually went to the postseason several times during our run. But check this out, though. We went to a school, we were kicking butt, and we just so happened to be an HBCU doing the butt kicking. We viewed HBCU status as a bonus. Our football teams were dominant. It just so happened to be an HBCU team being dominant.
I like it. I love it. I love it. You always bringing the nuggets, JB. Always bringing the nuggets, hot nuggets.
I try, sir. I try, man. So I think that with our schools in the SWAC, for example, because I'm looking at some of the schedules coming up, I'm seeing our schools have Stephen F. Austin on the schedule. I see Austin P on the schedule for some of our schools. let's start beating the brakes of some of these teams first. You do that, that respect is going to skyrocket, because then you can show that, hey, we can win against schools besides schools in our own little sandbox. Let's win some of these games. Then we'll have a different conversation.
Absolutely. Absolutely. Appreciate the call, JB.
Yeah. No problem, sir.
Hey, Dr. Izzy, I'm coming. All right, I'm going to come over. Listen, March is MEAC month. All right, that's for you, Dr. Izzy. All right, I was going to do February as MEAC month, but it didn't work out for me. So March, MEAC March. That's what I'm calling it. All right, MEAC March. I'm coming. Listen, I need you to get I need to get all your South Carolina State, Delaware State, all them states over there. All right, I'm coming. I'm coming. All right, I'm coming over there. Hey, caller, you live? Talk to me.
Hi there, how you doing?
What's good? Talk to me.
All right. So look, this is Johnny in Houston. So, you know, I think that, you know, every time we turn around, somebody always says, you know, HBCUs don't get adequate funding, or this is always issue with receiving the fair monies from state or whatnot. And I'm gonna push back on that because I think that we're not playing the full game. I mean, you can't play football without a first down marker or a sideline. And we're not playing the game correctly. And if you go back and look at any of the SWAC championships, I call it the Black Super Bowl, every commercial break, not one commercial for a company owned by anybody black. Now, for the schools, for the HBCUs, when the SWAC championship is on TV, I don't know what the commercial breakdown. It could be 70-30, 30% to the school or 70% to the school, and the rest goes to the network or ESPN who's airing the game. But if we're not selling, or if our business alumni, the people that brag about how much money they make, our six-figure Negroes, business owners, if they're not buying commercials during the game, then you're undercutting the funding for the school that we turn around and say we're not getting adequate funding. We're not playing the full game. Now, if the SECs and all those can generate $5 million in commercial revenue from the game, we could too if our alumni, if our black business community in the nation as a whole will support HBCUs by advertising during the game. Respect our audience, respect our customers. They say it's the black community that has, you know, $5 trillion in buying power annually, but ain't nobody buying commercials during the game, which hurts the school. That affects your school's ability to have an extra infusion of cash to be competitive when it comes time to hiring coaches, ADs, and physical trainers. So all of this, you know, like you said, miss me with that. Make sense. Why we'll fight everybody about HBCU. Blackson State beat everybody bragging about the school. But when the game on TV, where was your commercial? Where was your black-owned business?
That's fair.
We mad about the game going to Birmingham, but where was the commercials? It's only so much money you're going to make on ticket sales. But when you're talking about a national game, when Comcast has made it so local businesses can advertise in national broadcast, where you might get a national commercial for $50,000 during the game, but you can get a local commercial right there in your town for $1,200 on the same broadcast. Make that make sense. We'll fight everybody by HBCU, but we won't put our money where our mouth is. And the earlier caller you had was talking about how there are certain people that come work at our institutions and they are put in place to destroy. But it's not just the people at the school. It's not just the people around the school. The schools, a lot of our HBCUs, our Grambling, our Southerns, our Alcorn, our Mississippi Valleys, they have made mistakes since the 40s when the state tried to put Amtrak to take you to the school. My parents grew up in an era where people would hop on cargo trains to ride to Grambling, and the same to Southern. But when they tried to put Amtrak down there so people could pay and ride, the state refused to negotiate and cut the funding. That's been going on a long time. It's a whole lot of histories. A whole lot of things has been going on. But what we need to do at this point is play the full game. And that means that instead of you going to take out a loan or a second mortgage so you can open up a smash burger near University of Alabama, we need to start investing in building up businesses around our university that advertising during our games and putting our local games on local TV so that we can build up our community support around the schools. It only costs $150 for an hour TV time on Comcast Spotlight. So how you don't have any HBCU games on local TV?
That's fair. That's fair.
Who don't have $150?
That's fair.
But if we don't know the rules of the game, we can't play the game.
That's fair. But see, it's this though. This is what you're missing. I think that the schools, they don't see the benefit behind it, right? That's why they make these paywalls where you got to pay $26 to watch a Grambling football game where they could probably play it locally. I don't know listen. I don't know all the ins and outs of promoting it locally, playing it on a local channel. I don't understand it because you still want to promote it nationally because, you know, your alumni base is still national. There's fans in, you know, South Carolina, North Carolina, you know, California, whatever, that want to watch the game. But to me, it's either one of two ways. It's either you make it a reasonable price that it makes sense for people. Like, I don't think a lot of alumni would have a problem with $10 a month and you can watch all the games you want instead of paying $20 per game. Like, get the guaranteed money over the thought money. Go ahead.
It all goes to the follow through. I mean, think about this. Every time you heard about statistics in the Black community, it was usually some sociology report published from Harvard or Yale. But every time you go to a Black college, somewhere within 30 miles of that Black college, there's a community clinic. Now, how the hell you got sociology major at a Black college and we can't even publish our own damn paper to tell us about our community? That's revenue. The same thing you said about football and all this other stuff. If you air your game on local TV, which you can under the current contract we have, we can air the game on. You're developing your local business community and you're elevating property values around your school. And when you elevate property values, you're making it prestige. You're not allowing the community or your alumni or people outside your community to look down their institutions. We're creating value, celebrity, fandom. But if you don't play the whole game, you miss out on creating that system, and that's what's missing.
I like that. I do like that because I get what you're saying now. So you play it locally to build up the local support, right? For the local kids to watch it, for the local kids to see you. So the local businesses can promote through you. You know, you build that community involvement. That's a smart ass idea. And then you can still keep it on your website for nationally. You know what I'm saying? So, you know,
it ain't hurting you. Yeah. You get 6 commercial breaks in an hour show. If they're $1,200 a commercial, you making $20,000 a week. Now, we putting all this talk about football. We ain't said nothing about baseball, track, girls soccer, softball. They got other programs. They got other fans. And that's the disparity. I pointed out even clearer to you. What's the difference between the NBA and the WNBA? The corporate support. That's why your salaries aren't on par.
That's fair. That's fair.
So if you love your school, and you care about HBCU, now is the time to be beating down Disney's door saying, hey, we want to buy commercial during the SWAC championship. You can wait until 2 weeks before a month before the game and go through Comcast Spotlight as long as you got your commercial made and buy that. And it won't be like $1,200, $1,500 for your local area, wherever you live at, to put your commercial on TV in the city you live in. That's bragging rights. I thought we bragged different. Where the commercial at?
Hey man, appreciate the call, bro. He said, I thought we brag. You about to start some fights. Oh man, shout out to him. All right, listen, real quick. Y'all see my guy, Quincy Casey. You see QC in the building. Shout out to you, QC. All right, appreciate it. Shout out to Miss Glenn for the hat. You already know. Shout out to Miss Glenn for the hat. All right, listen, I love the narrative, right? Listen, this is what conversation brings. Conversation brings thoughts, ideas, you know what I'm saying? Just a different way to skin a cat. We're not saying it's perfect. We're not saying it's right. We're not saying it's the way you should go, but there are things that you should look into. Remember, you're whatever you can to push the product, right? Whatever you can to change the narrative. Listen, all right, I know a lot of us watch Power. There's different ways to skin a cat. They could have been out there selling drugs on the street to the corner dealers, but Tyreek was like, hey, I think it's a better way. Braden, hey, I think it's a smarter way to do this, more efficient. So it's more hands-off for us. There's different. I know that's a horrible analogy, but it is. It's what I got. It's what I got. All right. It's what I got. So it's just how you go about doing it and trying to do it more efficiently and smarter. It's not to say how you're doing it is wrong. Course correct. You already know what about you. You know. That's what the swag need to do. They need to course correct. Anyway, so, but that's what it is, man. You just come at it in a different view and angle, you know, that it might be different. So, I mean, man, we can have a whole, that's a whole nother conversation, if I'm being honest, you know what I'm saying? But you have more people making excuses than trying to make change. All right. Oh, shout out to you, Doc. We appreciate that. Shout out to you. All right. There's more ways to want to skin a cat. And I think if a lot of older people in higher positions stop just talking about the status quo of stuff and stop saying that, well, this is how it's been and this is how it, like, we know what it's been like. I hate to say we, like I've been a part of this for the whole life, but I understand you guys know what it's been like. I understand you guys have seen it, but at the end of the day, you still have to have a vision. All right. This is the problem with lack of vision. What does it say, babe? A man without vision is if people perish without lack of vision. All right. People perish without the lack of vision. Right. Most of the most impactful things that are happening in our life were based off visions of people seeing where they want it to be, not currently in their situation. Right. Martin Luther King had a dream. He wasn't living that reality. He had a vision of what he wanted his kids to live and go through. Now his kids are benefiting off of his dream and his passions. All right. Malcolm X had a plan, a mission, Brother X. All right. Of what he saw society to see and do in the future. Right. But it seems like the more we get into the future, the more life has become easier, or, you know, that we don't deal with the same iniquities as before. It's become, we sat more and more in our own hands, right? We've sat back and say, you know what? Well, that's just how it is. That's just what we've been doing. Have the vision to see past your circumstance. Have the vision to see into tomorrow and next week, into 2 or 5 years later, of what the SWAC could be and what you want the SWAC to be. Not where it is now. Where it is now is just where it is, but make moves and plans to get the SWAC to where you see it as. And somebody said, even if you aim at the stars and land on the moon, you're still winning. If you aim for the stars and land on the moon, you're still winning. There's still a rise in where you were at. All right. So it's just, I feel as though people might want the vision, but there's so many excuses built around the vision that it's annoying. It really is. It really is. It really is, man. I'm so sick and tired of hearing excuses about, whoa, this and whoa, is we've been doing this and we've been doing this under. We all know you're underfunded. Everybody in America knows you're underfunded. What are you going to do about it? We all know the game is rigged. What are you going to do about it? Okay? You gotten this far. You've done this while the game is, you've gone this far, done this much while the game is being rigged. What are you going to do now? Okay? That's all right. Let's think bigger than that. All right. So listen, tonight, 7:30, the Afterglow show. All right. Tonight, 7:30, after Go Slow, special guest, DJ Loose Kid, FAMU DJ. All right, once again, tonight, all right, it should be a great conversation with DJ Loose Kid, as well as Kofi. We're going to talk about the Super Bowl, Valentine's Days, and all that type of stuff. You know how we do have a good time. All right, make sure you like the stream. Make sure you like the stream. Make sure you like the stream, okay? And last but not least, for the haters in here, all right, for the haters in here, make sure you
If I make you feel some type of way.
listen, it's not that hard. If you're riding in the car with your radio on and they play a song you do not like, you change that sucker. If you do not like what I'm saying, go somewhere else and find something that fits your fancy, okay? Because I'm not everybody's cup of tea. And I'm cool with that. I'm cool with that. So you should be cool with that. Don't make me into your cup of tea. I'm just not. All right? So listen, if you have not subscribed to the channel, make sure you subscribe to the channel. All right, we got some big things coming down the pipeline. We listen. Me, Key, and my conscious committee, we're working on some brand deals, some sponsorships. Man, we trying to take this thing to the next level. All right, I'm seeing past my circumstance, and I'm trying to take this thing to the next level. All right. HBO, you know what? Listen, let me answer this question because the guy keeps dropping it. Shout out to you, Ron C, for the support, man. And to answer your question, I'll say this, right? Let me see what you said. Scotty for HBO Max. All right. Let me say this. I know a lot of people, right? Okay, so let me say this. So with Power and Stars, right? You had to pay for Stars to watch Power. The interest around it so much was that, you know, that it is what it is. You had to pay to see it, right? And then the you know, all that stuff. If HBO Max came with the right deal, right? And they had the right special, if they had the right special, I might take that. I don't want to put my content behind a paywall because you've always gotten it for free. Right? But if they let me get really wild, if they let me do some skits, some real wild stuff, some stuff that be popping into my mind, I'll make it happen. I would make that. I would do that deal. I would do that deal. I'm not gonna lie to you. Now, I would hope that I would have y'all support to pay $4.99 a month. All right. You know what I'm saying? To come over and watch me on HBO Max, you know what I'm saying? Or Stars or wherever, or Revolt TV, something like that. You know what I'm saying? Speaking into existence. But hey, man, just come support your boy. If HBO Max came over and, you know, try to holler at your boy, just come over there and support me. All right. So until next time, let me see. Oh, who talking about the Obama bill? Who talking about the Obama bill? How we get on Obama? That was accident. Oh Lord have mercy. All right. Yeah, I like Revolt. I think Revolt will work. Man, we need Swag Max. Ooh. Swag Max. I like that. That's dope. That's dope, man. That's really dope, man. So, all right. But until next time, you know what I'm going to do. I'm going to holler. God bless. 7:30.